WrestleMania red? C.
That's Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble.
Actually, you're all wrong. It's numbers.
Did you guys watch that movie Casa de Mi Padre?
Nope.
With Will Ferrell. It's Will Ferrell acting as like a Mexican telenovela like movie, and he speaks complete Spanish the whole time, and it's all subtitled, and it's hilarious, dude, because he's like, "Sí, claro." And then someone, I think it's Kenneth, the guy who plays Kenneth in 30 Rock, shows up, and he's like a police officer. He's like, "Do you speak English?" And he's like, No habla inglés. But it's Will Ferrell the whole time. That's so weird. It's so good. Oh my goodness, dude.
That's one of my favorite moments in Family Guy, when the guy does the whole speech. Then he's like, "Oh, you speak English?" No, only that sentence, and this one explaining
just
it.
That.
What? Okay.
Just that one.
Hola, me llamo Brian. Me llamo es Brian. Actually, when you say me llamo Brian, you don't need the S. Oh, you speak English? No, just that explanation. And this sentence explaining it. What? Okay.
Okay.
No, I thought he was like, Are you serious?
Are you serious? Okay.
Okay.
Señor, hotter than las auto. My mom's from... Shut up.
Who the
Shut
what?
Up, Siri? Shut up, lady.
Shut up, lady.
Who said Siri in any of this?
Still my favorite line.
No one did.
You said, "Are you serious?"
This is exploitation.
I will say though that there was a
shut up, lady.
It wasn't. What was before when we did last week? Not Never Ending Story. The one before that.
Free Willy.
Free Willy, and you're like, "Hey Siri," and hey Siri, and my car kept going, "What? Every time he kept saying it, I'm driving. It's stupid Siri. God damn it, kept pulling up.
It
which
came
I'm
up
sure.
Right there.
Yeah, now it's gonna come up in everyone's car going. Yeah. So welcome back. Enjoy that weirdness you could.
Welcome back to Problems with Troy.
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
I got that shirt on.
Oh boy!
I got that shirt.
I gotta check on that one. There's a lot of items now that since it's been a year since we made them, there's some that have gone kind of back in the catalog. I want to bring those back up more. We need to work on our shirt game.
Pinches of power.
Pinch of power.
Pinches of power.
Pinch of power. He's got a new movie, Ki Hui Kwan. He's got a new movie coming out.
I'm not gonna try it.
Yeah. Good job.
I love that story when he saw Harrison Ford for the first time in 30 years.
Oh yeah, dude.
And he was like, "Indy?
Are you short rounds?
Are you short round?"
Just immediately, "Are you short round?" Just in that way. Did he call him over?
Something like this.
I don't know. I also heard of some other thing that Harrison Ford rescues or has rescued people during because he has a pilot's license and he goes flying often, and he rescued several people in the mountains. It's not the first time. How freaked out could you be? You're lost in the wilderness.
Is this a fever dream?
Yeah. He's wearing a fedora.
Am I drunk? Are you drunk?
He rescues you with a whip.
It pulls you in the plane really hard. Just the fever dream of that you're dehydrated. You probably haven't eaten in a couple of days. Who gets out of the plane? Is that goddamn Indiana Jones?
Is that Han Solo?
Is that
the new Hulk?
How hard would it be to resist?
Is that Red Hulk?
How hard would it be to resist sitting there going?
Are those pork rinds, Bob?
Those pork rinds of Bob Dawson.
Bob Dawson's diet pork rind.
Oh man, we actually got a couple people from who's also in Talladega Nights in our next week's movie too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so this one's good. But welcome back. Thank you for joining us. As always, you've never heard the show. Gosh, what would you say we are? We pick out.
We're a trio of idiots that likes old movies.
I like that.
Old
TV shows.
90s and today.
The best 80s, 90s, and today. That's perfect. Yeah, but
although you can't say that anymore. Now you have to say the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and today.
And today. God, the 2000s. I think I heard someone, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. 2000s. But now we're in the 2020s where people I think look back and in the 1920s and I was all and I was like, people are gonna be listening to Kesha. Baby. They're gonna listen to Kesha and be like, that's gonna be the creepy old music they put in new horror movies in 50 or 60 years. Instead of that It's gonna be
TikTok on the clock.
Feeling like Pete did.
Yeah. Oh God.
She changed that.
That is a horror movie.
She better change that.
Yeah.
What'd she change it to?
I don't know,
Do you know?
but I know she changed it.
Oh man, but like it's just sort of like TikTok on the clock, and like a knife comes out. No, but yeah, thank you for joining us. As always, we'd love to review old movies and things we love from the 80s and 90s, and yeah, the early 2000s. We're in the 2000s. We did some Narnia earlier this year.
Yeah.
Go back and watch that. But yeah, as always, we'd love to ask you guys as you're watching and listening. Comment. Spotify now has a new thing where they're supporting videos, so I'm no longer just uploading audio stuff. It's
nice.
going to upload videos straight to there, as well as our YouTube channel, which is Nostalgialand. Is on Spotify, anywhere you find podcasts, Apple Music, Amazon, and then our YouTube channel is Nostalgialand.
That's where I listen to all of ours.
It's on YouTube. It's on the tubes, and our Instagram, nostalgialand.podcast, which today I almost fell for a really good scam. I mean, I was impressed because usually I catch them, but right before I was like, oh, maybe I'll give this a shot. It was like a promoter for Instagram feeds, and it was organic traffic. So it's not like, a bunch of fake bots and accounts like come through and like your shit and don't leave any comments or something, or like me likey.
Watch my video of me naked.
I mean, it was really good. It had all the right information, all the right pages, and all that. And then I was like, let me real quick. I threw that URL into this scam finder website that's like, hey, it checks the validity, and they were like, yeah, it's got problems. And a lot of it was that they found out that this company basically it looks through who you're following, it goes to those accounts, duplicates them, and then as like just copy pastes and changes a little of the information and then goes and likes your video. And so it's organic, but it makes me wonder, like, millions of accounts have to be out there that are absolute bullshit. Like, no one's following them. Like, nothing's actually being posted.
Absolutely.
It's like when Twitter, before Elon bought Twitter, and they tried to say that only 5% of the accounts on Twitter are bots.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? No. Like, I don't even use Twitter, and no.
Yeah.
It's because they left off the
no, what they did was they
left off the apostrophe NT. They aren't bots.
They took
5% aren't.
They took a
bots.
sample of 100 profiles, and only 5 of those were bots. So they said only 5%.
And all 5 were bots about Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
We have our lovely Danny still standing here. Hello,
Hi, Danny.
sir. Hello.
This giant hand.
We need to get you a friend, I think. Someone else needs to be
Matilda.
like behind Tyler. Just put
Miss Trunchbull.
Yeah, we got to get him a fedora.
Oh, we should. Oh, man. Well, today, as the title of the show, today we're talking about 1993, amazing classic from the late, the great, the sorely missed Robin Williams, man.
And Matilda's in this one.
And Matilda's in this one, too. Mrs. Doubtfire. With also Pierce Brosnan. Totally forgot he was in this.
And Sally Fields.
At the height of his, like, I'm so
Bond.
Sexy.
And Sally Fields is a giant bitch in this movie until like...
Man, we gotta talk, because we got to talk about the defense.
Without giving away names, there's a certain woman that I know that I always was like, that's her.
She's the Sally Fields of this friendship.
Yeah. You would know exactly what I'm talking about.
I'll have to ask you about that.
We're going to wait till the camera's on.
Until all that's off and no one can hear this. But yeah, so I mean, this movie, I mean, it's funny because I remember watching it a lot as a kid and I just rewatched it today again. And I was like, this is not for children. Like, this is funny, but several times I was like, like, leave the room. Just go.
Well, the thing I noticed myself, especially in the scene at the end, when he's switching back and forth and they're in the restaurant.
Yeah.
When he, Matt, what's the girl's name? Maddie, and
then there's
Maddie is like,
Liddy?
I need to go to the bathroom. And she's like, Miss Doubtfire, would you? No, you. She wants you, dear. So Sally Field and the little girl leave to go to the bathroom. And then he tells the 2 older kids to go check out the dessert cart.
Yeah.
And then it's just him and Pierce Brosnan, and he's talking about the bracelet.
Oh my God, the jokes.
Well, what you don't realize is when you're a kid, they go right over your head. You don't even know what he's saying.
He's doing innuendo linorama. He's doing.
Yes, like she's got a jackhammer in the bedroom. And I remember thinking a kid like, that means something about
power
sex,
tool?
but I have no idea what that means.
what's going on. Yeah, she knows.
Then you realize, like, and when he says, like, when she uses it, the lights dim. It's like a prison movie.
Surprised she hasn't knocked your teeth out.
Chipped her teeth.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, it can tear up concrete.
The bone dancer.
Oh jeez, dude.
The horizontal babo.
Also, she's got the crabs, dear.
And I don't mean you. I hope you brought cocktail sauce.
Yes,
She's got the crabs, and I don't mean Dungeness. It's disgusting,
dude. But like, so I mean, one of the facts I'm sure you saw too was that like, there's a PG, there's a PG-13, and there's a rated R version.
There's an NC-17 version also.
NC-17 version, which
I saw a look back on the. I bought the special edition years ago. That's what this is in the background behind Matt, and it's got like the back in the day, all the DVDs and stuff had special features out the wazoo.
Yeah,
most of them are quite stupid, but this one had some pretty interesting ones.
Yeah.
About like the makeup and the casting process, and it's Chris Columbus. God bless Chris Columbus.
Not the explorer, the director.
Right. Some of our great movies that we've done have come from Chris.
One of those guys is a real asshole. The other one,
but it's not the explorer.
The other one makes amazing movies.
I claim this land in the name of God.
It's like one of those is a real asshole, and the other one discovered America.
Yeah. But they were talking about it, and like it was Miss Doubtfire Look Back, and it was I guess it was in early 2003, or maybe it was 15 years after, and they had gone back and watched it, and they were talking about whether or not it holds up, and he's like, I may be biased, but I think it does, because it talks about divorce, and I love that they did it in such a way that the ending is happy without being the fairy tale happy ending where her and him get back together and the family's all one again. They left them apart, which the studio fought against. They wanted them to get back together, and I guess when they took it to test audiences, and the test audiences didn't like the ending that was like super happy and they get back together and everything. But Chris Columbus was saying, I have like probably 70 hours of footage of Robin just ad-libbing and improvising, and he said we would do 2 takes that were true to the script, and then Robin would start to go off, and he at one point he said, I can't remember what scene it was now, but he had to crawl out of Chris Columbus, the director of the movie, had to crawl out on his hands and knees because he was crying, he was laughing so hard, and he was trying not to ruin the take, and they had to have multiple cameras running at all times to get the initial reactions of Sally Field, Pierce Brosnan, the kids, because they would never get the same faces again. And he's like, it was like filming a reality TV show before reality TV. Because Robin was just Robin. Like there's nobody like him. The ball of energy.
Yeah, dude.
I heard he was like that in the booth when he did Genie too, where they were just like, have fun.
Yeah. I heard there's an NC-17 of Aladdin too. Which release this footage, people. Like you want to appreciate 90s kids and stuff and what we grew up with. I want to see NC-17 versions of Mrs. Doubtfire and Aladdin.
Chris Columbus said he's like, it's too bad that nobody will ever see it because it's the best version of Miss Doubtfire that there is.
Funny.
See, that's the problem. I mean, that's what's so crazy is like, if I'm not mistaken, this is Chris Columbus, the same guy who gave us like the first 3 Harry Potters as well. Am I wrong about that? Like,
he definitely directed the first one.
Okay, I think he did 1 and 2, and then he skipped off for 3, and that's something like that. Something, and he came back for another one. But anyways, someone fact check me out there.
I'm reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. What do you want?
What is that from?
It's an old school Vine where she's like, honey, and she's holding a pregnancy test, and she's like, I have news, and the husband's sitting there, and he's like, I'm reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. What do you want?
Rightfully so, honestly. That's a fair question. You don't interrupt that. Yeah. Sorry. That's actually kind of fun because we just started being able to read those to my kids too. So it's a special moment.
I thought you were going to just stop at being able to read.
I just learned to read last week. It's been really difficult. Luckily, most things are like with a sign. It's also iconography, so I kind of be able. It's carried me through.
Is
college.
that true? Everything except the reading part.
I got through college somehow. I have an art degree, people. So it's not like I went there for science or math. I went to UF and I went for art. It's
there's the part of Big Bang Theory where they're hanging out with Stuart for the comic book shop and he's replacing Wolowitz while he's on the International Space Station.
Yeah,
and Sheldon's like uncomfortable with him replacing Wolowitz, and he says, hold on, I need more information before we go. Wolowitz went to MIT. What's your educational background? And he says, I went to art school. And he goes, equally ridiculous. Let's go.
Equally ridiculous.
Because they're constantly making fun of Howard for going to MIT.
Where did they go? Like Yale, Stanford?
Well, Leonard went to Princeton, and Howard went to MIT, and Raj went to Cambridge. But that's the only. They never tell you where Sheldon went to school.
Yeah, well, is that like you got to go watch a Young Sheldon thing?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Young Sheldon. I've seen episodes of it, but I haven't watched the
I've
whole
only
thing.
seen clips. Sorry, we'll go back to this.
Yeah.
we'll come back to Young Sheldon.
Always.
Always come back to
Like,
that.
the Big Bang Theory just lives in my head.
I've been
Rent free.
It dances around like sugar plum fairies.
We've been rewatching Frasier, and
Okay.
so Frasier comes with a lot of like I went to Oxford, and Harvard, and like all those high class prissy jokes, and they make me laugh. So Mrs. Doubtfire, man. We have to play with the argument about Sally Field and Robin Williams, and was Sally Field's character as a mother, was it justified or was it just overreacted?
The hell outta here.
Because I don't.
The hell out of here.
I'm sorry.
Because there is
This
one
movie
thing
would not go down the way that they make this go down. There's no shot.
I'm open with like, okay, he's kind of crazy, he's kind of wild and stuff like that, but like, I don't want the horse in the house.
Oh no, them getting the divorce, whatever. But that it does not go down like that.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Where
What are
the
you talking
kids
about?
are just like, oh yeah, okay, like we're a little upset that you divorced Dad. It would be like, hey, we hate our mother and we want to live with Dad.
We're picking
And-
sides. You're absolutely right. They probably would have like.
Especially the little one. The little one would be like, I hate you.
Yeah. She doesn't do the voices. She smells weird.
That's the formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde.
My granny's so well preserved.
The lady has the greatest role in the whole movie. She just stands there looking pissed. And he says, thanks, Warden. And she goes,
Thanks
and
for
that's
the time, Warden.
Yeah,
the whole time. That's all she has in the whole movie.
I could do that.
So
I kinda
basically,
wanna
the
do a
plot
role with
is
that. Yeah,
Robin Williams is a voice actor.
it's Daniel Hillard.
Yeah, and he's a voice actor, and he quits his job. Like, apparently, he quits his job a lot.
Yeah.
This is like something that happens. And it was because he goes to pick up his kids at school, and he's like, you got off early. He's like, yeah. And she's like, you got fired. He's like, no, I quit.
Yeah,
It was a matter of conscience.
it's principles. Well, he's a voice actor, so it's just like it's the voice actor life of like, well, you got a gig, and it's feast or famine is the problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so it's his son's 12th birthday, and he's not supposed to have a party because he got bad grades on his report card. And Ryan Williams is like, like your mother's being fuck that.
Yeah.
We're
In
gonna
one of the
have
deleted scenes, they're talking Sally Field and Robin Williams, and they're cleaning up outside because there's crap all over the bushes and everything. And they're cleaning up outside, and she's saying that he's failing like 3 out of 5 courses. So he's not just like doing bad in school; he's doing horrendous in school.
This kid,
Kind of a
this kid
moron,
better be the
actually.
next David Beckham because he's definitely not the next Albert Einstein.
Good old Matthew Lawrence.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to lower your expectations
Right.
A lot.
a lot,
Like a
all
lot.
like a lot.
The casting in this movie though is out of control. Like
Good.
every single character.
Robin
hits.
Williams, Sally Fields,
All 3 kids.
Pierce Brennan.
The Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brennan.
Robin Williams' brother and his boyfriend or his husband.
Harvey Firestein.
Harvey Firestein is so amazing.
That's Mr. It's Mr. Lundy.
That's his brother.
Oh.
My god. Oh, I'm so happy. Any closer and you'd be mom.
Closer, and you'd be mom.
I could do latex.
Uncle
gonna have
Frank,
to go.
Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Who did this to you, Uncle Frank and Act Jack?
Scott Capurro, and they were just so perfect, man. They were so great in this movie
He
together.
kind of looks like Jim Carrey.
I guess he's done.
Like
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, apparently, he was
the guy with the voice.
Harvey Firestein. Apparently, Robin did an impression of him, and when they were casting for this movie, they needed a brother, and apparently Robin was like, "Oh, I got the guy." Like that's it, wasn't it?
I saw a video of him being interviewed, and he was. They were working on close sets or something, and they had a friendship, him and Robin, and he went over and found Robin and basically gave him a bunch of shit, saying like, "How dare you do my voice like that and disgrace my voice?" He was joking with him, but Robin was like, and then he goes, as a sorry, you should make me your brother in this movie you've got coming out. And Robin laughed, and he said 2 days later he got a phone call, and they had given him the part of the brother.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, but
His voice it makes it so much a part of his character.
It is.
It's
it is
everything. Oh,
when he says, "I don't have," he goes,
me much, find me you find, catch me you catch.
"Look at this wonderful thing happening." but when he says, "Oh, I don't think I have the strength," I lost.
I always thought he said the strings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The strings. I don't think I have the strength. Okay. So, sorry. So Daniel Hillard, he's a voice actor. He's been in and out of jobs.
Right. And he throws a birthday party for his kid, but like, this isn't just a birthday party. He gets like a DJ, and he's got a petting zoo.
Like,
but I was going to say, like, did he just like go get these animals himself and just like give
There's a trailer with a guy like walking the horse for the ride.
Doing nothing else.
He just lets the geese out on the road with the ducks.
Bunny.
It's like what is happening?
Trust.
In the middle of San Francisco. They live like on that crazy taxi hill.
It's on the incline, deep on the incline, dude. And so like, it's just like this is livestock everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's supposed to be in the city limits.
And
like
so their nosy neighbor
Gladys.
Oh no, Gloria
calls Mrs. Hillard at work as an interior designer, and so my wife's an architect, and I was like, "Do interior designers make this much money?" And my wife was like, "Maybe for posh rich people."
Maybe in San Francisco is what you're saying.
Well, they kind of have enough money to buy this giant house in San Francisco.
Dude, that thing was massive, bro.
Yeah, it's like the Full House
huge. Yes, it really is. Like an actual 2-scale Full House. But yeah, I thought that too with her. I was like, she's just an interior, but she was talking about like corporate buildings.
She's like the interior designer.
Yeah.
Like this is like.
So maybe there's some architecture things in there because you can't.
I asked her, I was like, "Is this an architect thing?" She's like,
"Well, not only that,
interior design.
Not only that, but whatever firm she's a part of, her name is
attached
on the door.
One of the three names."
Yeah, but I looked at her, and what's funny now looking back, and I was like, "Oh, that was top of the line, like design." She was like the Joanna Gaines of '93, dude.
Making it up?
Yeah, just
maybe
make it.
Chris Columbus has a thing with like people being like fashion or interior designers because Kevin's mom is a fashion designer.
Oh, that's right. Kevin! Sorry. Every time we do it, it's like a tick now. Like I can't help myself.
It's like $40.
$40 for pizza. So, but like she like starts talking about like she's talking with Stu a little later on. But she's like describing her design style for him, and she's like with frills, and there's gonna be tufted lace, and I was like, this sounds like every horrible 90s home.
Oh, 100%.
It's very of its time. It is of its time, and I was like, this woman perpetuated that idea of you should put roosters in the kitchen.
Hey, shut up!
Shut up! It was too real. Don't do that.
They're too close to home.
Too close. Sorry, I'm sorry. So the party's happening,
and so she comes home and finds them like dancing on the table to jump around, and there's a horse eating her begonias, and there's just she unplugs the.
She crawls under the pony,
and he's like, "Be careful, that horse had a lot of water."
Be careful, that horse is gonna pee on you.
And she unplugs the speakers, and then like Robin Williams looks at his son. He's like, "Party's over." And they're doing what any kid would do, where they're like sitting at the top of the stairs, like listening to them fight, and it's basically like he's the immature one, and she always has to clean everything up and blah blah. And then
but you see how angry he gets?
Yeah.
They give you little glimpses of it, but when I was watching the behind the scenes stuff, there's a ton of deleted scenes where he's a terrible person.
Okay, see,
with her,
that I saw that moment and I was like, this is not like oh, he just does this every now and then.
No, and then he defends himself like she's an absolute monster and it's all her fault.
Well, you spend all this time with all these corporate clowns and
like you're a different person. And she's like, you're a different person. Like, and she even says later on in the movie, like Daniel could do anything except have a serious conversation.
No, except be serious.
Yeah, he can't be serious. Like, so everything is a fight.
So basically, in the middle of this fight, he's like, "Oh, we still love each other," and she's like, "I want a divorce."
Yeah, she's like, maybe you do.
Yeah. Oh, guess what? No.
Yeah, she shuts down. But like they something I was really impressed with, because I don't know, as a kid, I guess I only remembered a lot of the jokes, at least the ones that I understood. But I didn't really like how long this movie is. It's almost a 2-hour movie. And it's because they spend a really nice amount of time on like, this is the relationship. And we're not just going to like, it's over and then cut scene. No, there's a lot of more dialogue in there of like, we got to go to court. We're going to talk about this. And it's like, no. Like our relationship. And they spend a lot of time about like how that relationship had been building. And it's been building. And you get really good in-depth character. And then it slides in Robin Williams being Robin Williams, and it's hilarious. But man, the heart in this movie.
Well, yeah, there was 3 rewrites before Chris Columbus came on, and it was a book originally called Alias Madame Doubtfire, and it was basically a similar story of a father and like trying to come in.
Just the emphasis on the syllable got me there.
Well, there's a difference between a madam and madame.
I know.
It's English word.
Oh, were you like, what's a madam?
I was like, no. I was like, my damn Doubtfire. What the?
No, madame, not my damn.
Madam.
But and like apparently in the book, the kid, like the makeup was really bad, and the kids knew like instantly that it was their father. And I'm like, well, if the kids knew, how does his wife not know that?
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. So then when they bring in Chris Columbus to look at it, he does his own rewrites, and he adds a lot more humor and heart to the movie. And that's when Robin was like, okay, I'm in. Like now the humor's there.
Let's go.
The emotions there. There's a real story here now to tell. And he was very interested in taking on the role and diving into the experience of becoming a whole different person.
Yeah.
And his wife was a producer. She wanted him to play this role. She wanted to see him become Miss Doubtfire and see what he could do exploring the role. And thank God she did, because it's still like, I hadn't seen it in years. And the first time I watched it again, all I could think was, this movie is still great. Like, it is still so funny and so good.
Yeah.
And man, this guy, just the talent of this guy is out of control.
Yeah.
I wonder what it would have been like to hang around him if it would have just been exhausting. Because I feel like he just goes nonstop.
No
yeah.
So something we have to mention though is, so the kids, Lydia, Chris, and Nat. Mara Wilson, who was Matilda, Matthew Lawrence, and Lisa Jacob or Jacob.
Sure.
Either one. She's Canadian, so
Jacob.
Jacob. So mayonnaise on her French fries. So
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's the fattest statement in the world.
It's all right.
Hold on. What do you want on your French fries? No, wait. I'm on a diet. Mustard. So Matthew Lawrence, they do a podcast together now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All 3 of them?
They have a podcast together.
Oh, they let us on?
I hope so. Maybe we can talk to them. Matt. Hey, bud.
Yeah.
Matt to Matt. It's Boy Meets World.
And Matt to Matt.
Matty. So they do a podcast together. They talk about that. They talk about with Robin Williams, and Matt Lawrence particularly had an experience that he shared where Robin at the time was doing, some extracurricular activities with his nose. And when he was on set, he was great. And he had quit at the time. And he wasn't doing it anymore.
That's when he goes into his...
And Matt was like, oh, I got a funny idea. And there was kind of a rule about like, don't go in Robin's trailer when the doors closed or something. And he was like, but Matt was like, just a little kid. He was like, oh, so excited. He was going to share this idea with Robin. And so he went in, and Robin was just like, apparently with his head down, like head in his hands, and was sitting at his dressing table. And he came up to him and he's like, I know he said Robin was like, I know something about what I did, in the 80s and stuff, like permanently messed me up because it's so painful to stop. When like the camera shuts off and they go cut and he goes to stop and to turn off the energy and to not be able to and it's just that feeling of like he couldn't rest completely.
Yeah.
And so like he had to be on camera. Like he had to have that.
Yeah, and Bobcat Goldthwait, the comedian, and Robin were very close. And he actually was the one who kind of let it leak that Robin had been diagnosed with mental disorder that was like a deterioration of his brain, kind of like dementia or Alzheimer's, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And I remember it not being one of those. Yeah. And they think that's why. Yeah. That he was like fighting demons that nobody knew he was fighting. Like, because it was making him almost like hallucinations kind of deal, but like he was losing touch with reality. And they think that's why, he did what he did when he did it. But
see, folks, we're not just a comedy podcast. We talk about heart.
We try to find the in depth, the behind the scenes, the story for you.
He had Lewy body dementia, which is very similar to Parkinson's.
Ooh, Lewy body?
Yeah, Lewy, Lewy.
Lewy.
It deteriorates the white matter in your brain, so like your neurons don't fire. We don't do a medical podcast, so don't worry about it.
That's all you need to know. You can look it up.
But we got
he spelled it.
He
spelled it.
Hey, we got a guy. So they go to court.
They go to court, and because he doesn't have he was living in her house because he doesn't have stable work, and
he was living with his wife.
But it's so funny because the judge talks about it. He's like, I know that there's a stigma that we only tend to side with the mother, but we should think about the father. So you get visitation on Saturdays. He looks at his lawyer like, what the hell? And then he's like, oh well, if I'm going to give you 3 months to get a job, keep it, get an apartment, keep it
suitable for children.
Yeah. You got 90 days. Figure it out. Get your shit together.
Well, he just had to get a job. He didn't have to, he didn't have to be making a bunch of money or anything.
No.
And so his lawyer's like, oh, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And Rob Williams is like, well, you're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reaches out and the handshake, he just oh, God.
Yeah.
So
I like the way they dressed him up though in that scene though, because in the very early stages of the movie, he has his hair kind of forward. It's a very kiddish kind of look, and he's just like the kids. He's their father, but he's just like the kids' plaything.
Yeah, he's like one of the kids.
Yeah, they make him look that way, and they make Miranda. Is that right?
Yeah.
Hillard. They make
her look like an adult.
Her look very adult, and she was almost 50. And Sally Field was 47 in '93, and I just couldn't help.
Was this before she was Mama?
Where's your mama?
She's Forrest Gump's mama.
Oh, yes, because that was 94.
I was thinking throw Mama from the train. I was like, she was not Mama.
I was thinking Gilbert Grape, and I was like, dude, that's an enormous fat suit, bro. That's not Mama.
Nope, she's Ms.
Oh,
Gump.
Mama. Sorry, it's my Leo doing.
So then he gets a job at basically PBS.
Yeah,
he gets a job at an educational
PBS,
and he's like, "Oh, look at all these films. Why be introducing these films on air?" And he's like,
"Not exactly."
Yeah, you see those, you box those, you ship those. Then new films will come in, you box them, you ship them.
And when the cans come in,
after I
box them,
you ship them. Lots of luck, smart ass. Yeah. Walks out of the room.
I think I made a friend.
And so then he gets an apartment, and there's a court appointed liaison. Mrs. Selner.
Yes, Mrs. Selner. That's exactly where we get. So it's so funny to me because when people have commented on our videos that I'm like, "Hey, can we have Jimmy Fallon tonight?" No, we got Jimmy Fallon at home. Yeah. Apparently, that's me. People have made the comment as like, "Can we get Robin Williams at home?" Apparently, you're the Robin of this group.
Funny, actually.
You're the Robin of our group because he's sitting in front of the liaison and she's like, "Do you have any special skills?" And he goes, "Yes,
I do voices." Yes. She I could see this being one where you're talking about how they're filming them constantly because she was probably just like, what the is going on?
Just run with it.
The one that I couldn't get over and we kept rewinding and writing I think it was one of his first voices where he goes, "I want you in the worst way. I want you in the worst way."
Nancy and I are still looking for the other half of my head.
Yes.
He does a lot. He does like that. I love to be in a main cut.
Those cuts are the best. When he does the voices and when he does the phone calls.
Yeah.
Like
I do a great
interviewing for
impression
the
of a hot
job.
dog.
When he's interviewing for the job, when he changes the numbers on the application
Yes.
for
Yes.
the nanny.
So to get to how
in that,
this whole
yes.
happens, she comes to pick up the kids the first day that he has his
Dude, and
visitation.
how horrible is this?
Yeah,
she drops the kids off an hour late.
Dude.
She shows up an hour early and then
just-
just honks the horn. Like, come on down.
And it's only the second time in the movie you see him get really pissed off.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Which is
don't
only like
just
the
run
second
off
time
when
in the
she-
movie you've seen them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She don't just run off when she honks the horn. Come on. You're my goddamn
Kids
kids
too. It's heartbreaking, dude.
Yeah.
Like these kids, and they play up that drama with those.
Well, and
with those
this
kids,
is after
man.
his oldest daughter's like, you're not trying very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, come on, Dad, get
your
your
place
shit
looks like shit. It's basically what she's saying. Like,
And he says, how's your mom? I'd hate to think she got amoebic dysentery.
Dysentery.
Yeah.
Piles.
Piles.
And they're like, and poor Natty, who's like 5.
what is amoebic dysentery?
What's amoebic dysentery?
And Matt Lawrence.
It's a disease that you get in your tummy, or you get diarrhea forever. Diarrhea forever.
shrivel
And
up
then your
and-
body dries out and you die.
Yeah, shrivel up and
I
die.
don't have to be so graphic, but I read it in a science
I read a
textbook.
science book.
Science, bro.
Well,
Like,
how about you read your science homework and stop failing science?
That's right. You
yeah,
son of a bitch.
honestly, what these kids sounded like, it was like, oh, he has ADD. Like, he wants to play soccer. Like most kids that want to play. I'm making a generality, but tell me if I'm wrong. How many kids are you like, oh, that kid would be good at soccer? Where are their grades? Tell me how good are they at sitting down and listening
And not playing soccer.
and not playing soccer?
How good are most boys at just sitting in a classroom and
that's
listening,
not a
especially at that age?
Yeah, especially then, man. Yeah.
So then she's like, oh, I'm going to get a housekeeper. And he's like, let me be the housekeeper. Like, I'll take him after school, blah, blah. And she's like, no.
A fair.
She says, I'll
yes.
think about it. And then all the kids are like, oh, that means no. Like,
Well, his apartment is gross.
so he asked to see.
But he's not like a degenerate completely. Like you can pick him up and like take him home. That's why like I keep wavering back and forth about, is Sally Field justified or is Miranda justified or is she kind of just being? I don't.
I
want to.
think she's being
Well, not
vindictive at the beginning.
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it's just like,
she's-
And
yeah.
not only that, but he's made her out to be the bad guy to the kids, obviously,
That
for a
is true.
very
always
long
make me
time.
out to be the heavy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she has to come in and be the disciplinarian all the time because he is always the fun one and he can never be serious with them.
Right.
They can do whatever they want. And they talk about it at the end where when they're having the conversation on the set after he's done with the TV show.
Yeah.
And she says, like, Mrs. Doubtfire, like the kids miss her. They brought out the best. She brought out the best in the kids and in you. And then he says, and you. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, she brought the character that he creates in Mrs. Doubtfire brings out the best in all the people around him because he has to be everything she was looking for him to be when he was their father. Cooking when he's not working, cleaning the house, taking care of the children, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing,
Right.
and not just having fun all the time,
Right.
which they end up having a blast with her.
And those are the very basic, serious things that Robin Williams, Daniel Hillard couldn't do.
Right.
And I think that's where people, after rewatching this, I was like, because so many comments on the movie in scenes are like, oh, Miranda, she's such a bitch. And like, oh, she's the worst mother because she's like, she'd rather like be neglectful than let her kids to see this good husband. And it's like, no. You need to also see from her perspective. Like he's failing school, dude. Like your kids are failing school. She said that you come home, the house is a mess. There's always food together, and then she doesn't get to spend any time because she's only the one working the stable job. So like you said, those serious things that Mrs. Doubtfire did, which is just basic, hygiene, cleaning, taking care of the house, and making sure the kids are doing their goddamn homework when they should. Like those, like it's not such a huge ask.
He's being a father.
Yes, be a dad.
So you're not their buddy.
Yeah. I know, and like the whole, I won't go down that lane. But anyways, yeah. So I kept wavering back and forth of like, man, there's times where she was being really vindictive, and I was like, well, just why not? Just
No,
let him.
I think it makes sense.
And then
I just
other
don't
times-
think the unrealistic thing is I don't think that the kids would be as, I guess, cool with the whole thing as they are as quickly as they were
when they
Like,
find out, or with
no,
divorce?
like when Pierce Brosnan comes in like a week later, and they're like, "Oh, cool new dad."
That is one thing that
they'd be like, "No, fuck this."
that is one thing that they don't like. I guess it had to have been within 3 months.
Within 90
she's
days.
designing his house.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they haven't been back to court,
Right.
and they get forced back to court when he gets revealed.
when he's revealed to be a psycho.
Yeah. Have you seen the?
It doesn't look good.
Have you seen the horror trailer?
No.
So somebody made a trailer for Miss Doubtfire, but it's a horror movie instead of a comedy.
Oh, I love
Stalks him and
those.
kills him.
Yes.
Dude, it's all it is the trailer.
Yeah.
But they changed the music and like the way the shots are, and it's like, yeah, this movie also. He is
He's unhinged.
He dresses up like an old woman.
He's unhinged.
Yeah, and shows up and takes care of his kid. Like that is he's sick.
In the trailer, do they show him putting the teeth in? Like putting
Probably.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and the glasses. They show him like doing
close up. That
they show
would be
him-
so
It's like-
creepy.
They
it's like
show him
creepy
doing
music.
the
Dude, that
Yeah.
part.
when he's doing it with his brothers.
The part that's on behind Matt right now, where he's like, yes, yeah. Well, they were trying to figure out like how to do the face, and I think they tried to do avocado at one part. Like he had an avocado
It's
mask on,
avocado.
and they said it was terrifying looking, so that's why they ended up going with the icing.
Yes.
But the dripping
Is
wasn't
improvised, right?
it wasn't supposed to do that.
Wasn't planned.
The set was so hot that it was melting the icing off of his face, and Robin, being Robin, just nails it beautifully.
Cream and your sugar now. It's
Oh, you
like
got one number 202, dear. You got two for you.
And Mrs. Steiner does the
Steiner.
whole like.
Yeah,
She tries to put it on.
She's
Oh.
dude, and he's so
That's
like the way the voice. Miss Doubtfire's voice is so awesome.
You Juvenile Doubtfire. Oh my god, I can't do it. You Juvenile Doubtfire.
So when he sees her for the first time, he looks at the ad and changes the phone number and the address. So that's
Yeah.
going to go in the paper, which she didn't catch that when she saw the ad in the paper. Like, oh shit, that's wrong. Like, but whatever.
It was
and
the
so
90s.
he calls in as like these horrible people at first. Like oh,
Yes.
my name is Ilsa Immelman, and I want to know how many kids you have.
How many children do you have?
I have
Oh,
two girls and one boy.
The
boy.
boy. I don't work with the males because I used to be one.
Hello?
Hangs up.
I am Job.
Are you
I'm
calling?
sorry.
Are you calling in regards to the ad?
I am Job.
Do you speak English?
I am Job.
I'm sorry,
the position has been filled. Thanks up.
Best one. Picks up. Bring, picks up. Lyle, you get back in your cell before I get the house.
Layla, get
Hello?
back in your cell. Don't make me get the house.
Hello?
Immediately hangs up.
Immediately hangs up.
Time for the kill.
Go ahead.
That's
Yeah,
when
and
you
then-
get,
Hello?
You Juvenile
What's your
Doubtfire,
name?
dear.
I thought I gave it to you, dude. No, and he like pulls back, and it's like police Doubtfire. And he's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
Doubtfire.
Police Doubtfire was arson. And he's like,
Doubtfire.
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 I love-
Mrs. Doubtfire?
It's not bye bye. It's also
Ta-ta. I worked 10
And he
years.
says, dear.
Yeah, a lot.
I think it's like over 170 times.
oh really? Dang.
I can't remember the exact count now. It maybe not that much, but it's a lot of times.
The one
worked-
thing that I would have been like, well, hold up, where does she say she's from? Because when she gets in, so she gets in her first day. Well, first, hold on, sorry. Let's go. He immediately goes to his brother.
And he's like, "Can you make me a woman?"
Yes, but I was like, oh, I didn't get this as a
the
kid.
perfect. He's a makeup
He's a
artist.
makeup
Yeah.
effects artist.
Yeah.
And it was like him and his partner, Harvey Firestein,
Yeah.
and his partner are makeup effects. And so he goes to him and goes, "Can you make me a woman?" He goes,
I'm so
"Honey,
happy.
I'm so happy."
And they try like a bunch of different stuff until they
Yes.
finally find. And he's like, "Is it old? Is it? Are we close?"
He goes, "No, I met this Cuban the other night. Every night it's like the bear pigs."
I think this is too much for them.
Yes. Don't leave me around the sun. You can send them butter. He does the
Life's candy and the sun's a bowl of butter.
Don't figure out the cloud and rain on my parade.
No, this isn't working. I feel like Bubby.
It's like, no, we need to go. Yes, the Jewish goes, matchmaker, make me. Sorry, this is most of the episode is going to be this.
And then they finally get the look, and he's like, "Are we close?" And he's like, "Any closer, and you'd be mom."
No, but before that, when they're doing the Jewish thing, he says, and I copied this from IMDb because I was like, that is freaking brilliant, dude. Because apparently he slipped in a really dirty joke.
From a moil.
He goes,
it's so chewy.
I should never buy gribbins from a moil. It's so chewy.
That's foreskin.
Gribbins is chicken skin, while a moil performs circumcision, making gribbins a reference to foreskin.
Yeah. Those foreskins are real chewy.
From a moil.
Yes.
Real chewy.
And so then he goes to the interview and nails it and becomes Miss Doubtfire and basically has her like showdown with Liddy.
Yeah. So that's the part I'm getting to.
Yeah.
That's the part I'm getting to. So when he is talking to them and Liddy's giving her attitude like, oh,
we always watch Dick Van Dyke.
We always watch Dick Van Dyke.
Anymore.
Not today.
He takes the remote and just whoop. And he goes right into the fish tank.
Yes, chucks it into the fish tank.
CNN.
And Liddy's face when it hits her, and Nat's face when it hits the water, she's like,
yeah.
she killed the remote.
She then makes them scrub the
clean
baseboards and stuff.
Yeah, she's doing the walls.
With silver.
But it's during that scene when they're having that little confrontation with Liddy, and she goes, and she's and Robin, Mrs. Doubtfire is like, you're on my schedule. and talking to them in that accent, I was like, hold up, dude, Robin. It wouldn't be schedule for a British. It would be, you're on my schedule. And I was like, this, if any of those kids watch BBC, I'd be like,
now you're getting into Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
This is the German 3.
This is the this is
the German 3.
You did this, yes.
No, he did this.
Yeah, he did this, which is British,
It's the British 3.
British, and German is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, eins, fein, drei.
Well, so he sets himself on fire trying to cook chicken.
All the burners, 100% on high. Yeah.
Before you get to him saying that,
I'm already getting hot flashes.
They're like, she comes up and she's like, well, children, are we ready to do our homework, or do we want to continue with the manual later?
Yes.
And you get one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. Liddy starts to say,
this is exploitation.
Yeah, this is exploitation. This is like slavery.
It isn't fair.
And the brother's like, hey, shut up. And then Natty, the little girl, is like, shut up, Liddy.
Yeah, you got us into this.
Yeah, like, you jerk.
Shit, did Matilda just tell me to shut up? Yeah, I better shut up.
That. I sense dissension in the ranks. Is it homework time, or shall we continue manual?
You know that Blake Lively auditioned for that role of Natty.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and she was a huge Robin Williams fan. And what they didn't know was that Robin was dressed as Miss Doubtfire and did the auditions with these kids, like the final auditions, and she recognized him.
Oh, okay.
And she started to get super nervous, or they did it with Robin, with like actual Robin, not Miss Doubtfire.
Okay.
And her dad tried to tell her it's Robin's twin brother, so she wouldn't be nervous, but she couldn't keep it together, and she ended up losing the part.
Because we just got Hook. Hook came out after that, and a couple, and like over not the one where he's from Russia came out a couple years before this.
Good Morning Vietnam and all that stuff's there.
And I mean, amazing, but I mean, for kids too to see Hook in '91, I think it was.
Peter Pan.
He's Peter Pan.
Yeah, he's Peter.
Pan.
But
I was there.
The prosthetics. You were there.
Yeah, he went out in public.
Glenn Close.
He went to an adult bookstore and bought adult stuff, and nobody recognized him as Mrs.
Yeah, he was testing it.
That's how he knew. He was like, "This is gonna work."
Dude, when he doesn't have the glasses on, the character looks kind of scary. Then he puts those glasses on, and it softens the whole thing like it's crazy.
They make a joke about that when he's in the restaurant doing the whole between, and he puts everything on. He goes to walk out, and he just has the face on. He turns around, he's like, ah! Like he scares himself because he's like, "Holy crap, I'm ugly."
The prosthetics of this really hold up though, actually too, because I was like, "This
took him 3.5 hours to get him into these prosthetics." There's 8 layers on the face.
Well, like there was a couple of things where I was like, "He's not." It's the one thing about it though, when you rewatch it now, is like it's still really stiff, and it doesn't have the lightness that a woman of that age would have, where like, you know, there would be a little bit more movement in the jowls and stuff when they move, because there are a couple of angles where they filmed it and I was like, dude, if this person showed up on my doorstep, I'd be like, who are you? And why are you trying to murder my family?
You're a big lady. You can play for the Niners.
Yeah. It's like, what I did was a fullback. I did play soccer in the
What's
university.
European football?
Soccer, dear. Well, like, there's so many deleted scenes. There's a whole feud with him and Gloria.
Yeah.
The next door neighbor.
Oh, the neighbor? Okay.
With him as Miss Doubtfire, and he tells her a little secret to take care of her flowers, which she's so in love with.
And it kills him.
He tells her like English tea steeped, like all these different things, and then dog piss. And she's like, "What?
What?"
So he has her spraying dog piss on her flowers 3 times a day. And then they all die, and he comes walking up as Mrs. Doubtfire, and she says, "Miss Doubtfire, I did what you said, and they all died." And she says, "Well, repeat what you did. Did you follow it exactly?" And she repeats it, and she goes, "Oh no, these teeth, dear. I'm sorry. It was this word, not that word. Oh, and now you must do it 5 times a day to get them to come back." And she's like,
geez,
5 times a day. And then at the end, after he Heimlich's Stu, and it's revealed that he's Robin the whole time, or Daniel, there's a deleted scene where he goes back to the house in the Miss Doubtfire clothes with no Miss Doubtfire hair or face on. So it's just Daniel Hillard dressed as an old woman, and he's bending over into the taxi to grab his bags out, and she sees him and comes running out, and she's like, "Mrs. Doubtfire, I've done everything you said, but the flowers still haven't come back." And he stands up as Daniel, and she's like horrified, and she's saying like, "Oh, their father's dressed as an old woman, like, oh, you're disgusting, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "What kind of mother sprays dog piss on her flowers?" Like, whatever. There's a lot of scenes with them that are cut.
Like pop up me.
Yeah. And there's the bus driver, because the bus driver keeps hitting on him.
Drivers,
just the way God made you.
And there's a deleted scene with him where Miss Doubtfire comes onto the bus, and he basically asks her out if she wants to go to the VFW dance with him.
Oh.
And he goes, I can't, because we have the same plumbing. And he's like,
wow.
He's like,
dude.
well, what do you mean? And basically he tells him like,
I'm a dude.
He changes to his voice, and he's like, "I'm a man." And he was like, "Oh, well, I still think you're beautiful.
Do you still want to go?"
Not like, do you still want to go? But like, he's very complimentary of her. Like, he's still like, "Oh, wow."
This movie really it walked the line very gingerly about, the appropriateness and stuff, especially.
Well, they pushed that PG-13. They pushed it,
and especially in today's political climate about this situation. Like, I wonder if this generation hasn't seen this movie, or
they might try to cancel it.
They might try to cancel this. They might try to, honestly. But I did like it because there was like no judgment. No judgment. Yeah. You're just doing your thing.
Like when he bumps into people coming out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or when in the montage when the guy tries to steal his purse.
Back off, asshole!
Yeah, oh, that's funny. It's happening right now. Boom. That's funny.
Broke my purse.
The bastard. The bastard.
Keeps walking. And what's so funny though is, like, I think there's 2 songs where it was "Walk Like a Man"
and "Dude Looks Like a Lady."
Dude,
that's the perfect song for this.
Dude, when I was a kid and I thought I was saying "Do the Lucky Lady."
Oh,
it's like one of those misheard song lyrics things. Yeah. And when I got older, and so it's like, yeah, that song "Dude Looks Like a Lady," I was like, oh my god!
So it's breaking the glass, like in case of fire. Just
oh jeez.
Oh no!
Is Stone Cold coming out?
It makes so much sense.
Well, I really, that time when Eddie Vedder said,
couldn't agree with him more.
Ooh, just connects.
Man, like a hippopotamus.
Dude, that fat white guy that's sitting on the couch, he's like, what does he say? He's like, I know, hippopotamus.
And I'm gonna fuck everybody.
I wanted to go back. So when so she's all this thing about the '90s fashion of San Francisco. Whatever they were dressing Matthew Lawrence in is hilarious, dude. Because they're standing on the curb, they're saying goodbye to Robin as his dad.
He's in like a jersey vest.
No. It's Matt Lawrence, and he's like in a dress shirt with a dress shirt over.
But like the dress shirt has like no sleeves.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
a sweater vest.
Yeah,
almost.
it was like, man, this is like perfect '90s. We're just like, what could go well with this dress shirt? Another dress shirt.
Well, that's like in the early 2000s where it's like, you know what would look good under this polo? Another polo.
You got that double popped collar, and then
ever since I can remember,
I was popping.
Double Coach Riley.
My collar.
I was double Coach Riley.
That's right.
The tight choker shell
Oh
necklace.
my God, the
pukas, and then the cargo shorts for all that cargo we were carrying around in the early 90s.
I need a lot of stuff.
Yeah, man. you had to hit the arcade.
Yeah, it was for my Walkman.
Yeah. Oh, that's
my Discman.
It's for the phone booth.
Sure.
Change.
I was this close as a kid to owning Jinko jeans, and
I have them.
Dang, I'm kind of.
I still have Jinko short jeans.
Why are you not wearing this here?
Because they don't fit. No offense, you're not like 12
I wouldn't doubt
anymore.
that they do fit.
Oh yeah, that's true. There are Jinko jeans.
They're Jinkos.
I could just put one leg on.
I could probably snuggle into like a leg, and you can be in the other leg, and then
I could still be wearing them.
So you get a big montage about like how the kids are doing better in school and blah blah, and then in the meantime,
well, you skipped over the part where he burns himself.
Oh yeah, so my first day as a woman. I'm already getting hot flashes.
He sets his shirt on fire.
Man, this hollandaise smells like burnt rubber.
Because he has a whole fat suit. And he's doing things. He's cooking dinner. Everything's on high. It's like full blast.
So he orders like gourmet food to the house, and he prepares all the dinner. And then,
I gotta say, that food looks freaking delicious.
Chunk looked
but then
good,
But then you get the montage of him like learning all this stuff. Like he's in the suit without the face and the wig on, with a beer in his hand, taking notes on cooking shows.
Julia Childs.
Yeah, it cuts to him making lobster.
Yes,
and he's like, I am not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
Like slaps the lobster onto the table. But in the meantime, Daniel's job, he goes in to watch the guy who does the dinosaurs.
He's delivering the cans to that place.
Yeah. It's like boring Bill Nye.
Oh my God.
And he's like the Stegosaurus were herbivores, but the Tyrannosaurus was a carnivore. And he's like,
dude, like what?
And then he's talking to the guy, and he's like, man, he makes Mr. Rogers look like Mick Jagger. He's like, what kind of idiot keeps this guy in the air for 25 years?
It's like the Chappelle show clip. William Brady makes Brian Gumble look like a Malcolm X. Yeah. That's exactly what I kept thinking. Like when he says that Mr. Rogers line, I kept thinking, William Brady makes Brian Gumble look like Malcolm X.
No, for real, he makes Mr. Rogers look like Mick Jagger.
Yeah. Who's the idiot who kept this guy on for 20 years?
And he's like me, and he's like Jonathan Lundy, and he's like, yes. Mr. Lundy, producer, owner. He's like, yeah, and he's like Daniel Hillard, former employee.
And he's like, maybe
we'll see.
Well, he says maybe because it's like, who knows? I've had so many people work for me.
And then his boss is like, get those to the truck. They got to get 7 p.m. flight to LA.
Isn't it Tony
or something like that? And he's like. He's like, this Mr. Lundy. And he's like, he knows who I am.
That's it. Yeah, Tony's walking away, and he's like, Tony, this is Mr. Lundy. And he's like, yeah. And he just keeps going.
Well, so later in the film, like right after the montage, and right after actually his kids like find out that it's him, where he's in the bathroom and he's peeing, and he doesn't lock the door. And
idiot, dude.
His son walks in on him peeing, and he's like, oh my God. And you just hear, damn it.
He's still using the voice.
So he gets caught in his waistband, and he goes in and he's talking to him. And he's like, we got to call the police. Mrs. Doubtfire, he's a she, she's he.
He's a he, she. He's a she.
He's half man, half woman. And then the lady's reaction is, what?
What the hell are you saying?
Immediately
so she grabs a tennis racket. And she's like, you're going to get it. And he's like, in the balls. And
she's got him?
She's got everything. She's got everything. And so he's like, I'm not who you think I am. Yeah, no shit. Watch your mouth, young man.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's what it's like.
Who you think I am?
And this is the first scene that I noticed had been like cut, that they had deleted something, because it goes like right for him being like, yeah, it's me. And he's like, you don't like wearing all that stuff, do you? And it's like, whoa, that's like That's not the first question you asked.
Yeah.
That's like 5 or 6.
I don't know. He is failing 3 subjects.
It's true.
So
And
maybe
he's
it
like,
is.
And he's
Like
like,
soccer a
he's
lot.
like, well, some of it's comfortable. No, it's a pain in the padded ass.
That's the best part. He's like, well, some of it's kind of.
It's like, I don't go to like old lady bars.
After work, it's just a job. It's the only way I could see you guys. And they're surprisingly cool with it.
They are, yeah.
Well, they just know that their dads are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
Fool.
And
It's
but
funny
he's
how, like,
smart
this-
though, because he covers himself. He's like, you can't tell mom because I go to prison, and you can't tell your sister because she blows my
She'll
cover.
blow my cover. Absolutely. She'll be like, Daddy! And Mrs. Doubtfire. But it's so funny how, like, this is not out of the realms of possibility for Lydia and Matthew. Like, or not Chris. Sorry, Chris, not Matt. Matthew Lawrence, but Chris.
Yeah.
That is not outside of the, like, when he's like, hey, it's me. Like, it's just a job. And they're like, oh, man.
Well, Liddy just
all
hugs
right.
him immediately.
But there's like so much. That's what I'm
right.
saying. There's so much stuff in this movie that in real life would not go down like
Speaking
that.
of Liddy, in real life that she was a Canadian, and when she got the role, she had like 3 months left of high school, and they expelled her from her high school because she was going to miss so much school. And Robin actually wrote a letter to the school trying to like convince them to keep her, and they didn't end up doing it. But it was just like one of those things that Robin would do.
Yeah.
Like his writer, like once he became famous and like one of the someone who could basically like pull whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Part of his writer for his movies and stuff was that so many homeless people had to be hired
On set. Yes.
as part of the crew and stuff in order for him to do the movies.
saw
And like
that.
it's just like these things that he did that he never needed or wanted anybody to ever know about, that were just like
I think he gave
to help people.
Didn't he give Radio Man his first job in New York?
Maybe.
Which Radio Man has like some of the most credits in most movies. Like just appearing in backgrounds, just a guy on a city bench. And if you don't know who that is, people, Radio Man is a homeless person who wears a radio around his neck. It's just like a big, boombox on a necklace kind of on. And he usually plays a homeless guy.
He just passed away, I think.
Oh, did he? Oh man, dude. Well, he was famous. Like, and he is actually not completely homeless. He has a very small apartment. Apparently, it's just a studio, but he's been in hundreds of movies. It's crazy. But no, it's just so funny though to me that like these kids, when they learn, oh yeah, your dad's dressing up as and pretending to be an old woman, and like you said, like Lydia's just like, all right, cool.
Yes, Chris is freaked out.
Chris is freaked out. He's like, I don't want to hug you.
Yeah, I don't want to touch you.
I get it.
So
He's
he
like,
goes,
I get. He's like,
guy
it's a
thing.
guy thing.
It's a guy thing. It's all right.
Yeah,
But
Soccer.
so then he does the thing where
football.
They make fun of the
Shotguns.
The guy. He figures out that he gets in trouble, and then he goes into like a blank. Like nobody's there on the set, and he walks through one day, and he just like he goes up and starts to do his
best parts of the movie.
Rob Williams thing where he does like different impersonations as the dinosaurs. Where he's like, "Please welcome the king." Dun, 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 dun. It's a dinner show.
I can't go on. I'm going extinct.
Yeah. James Brontosaurus.
That's it.
I eat wood.
Pump, 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 pump. It tastes good. Pump, 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 pump.
No meat. Big feet.
I eat wood. Pump, 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 pump.
And then the rapping raptors.
Yes.
I can't do that.
Doing what I can, gonna eat everything to the appearance of man. Yo, see me, I'm living below the soil. I'll be back, but I'm coming as oil.
And he tries to go into another one.
Yeah, he
he's
starts
like, put kids
another
on. Mr. Lundy starts like, okay, shut up.
Oh no, but man, that was impressive. Y'all.
And so this leads into like the climax of the movie where he gets basically a dinner with this guy to be like, hey, I want to put you on TV. Like, I want you to be in the time slot. Meet me at Bridges Restaurant at 7 on Friday. He's like, yeah, I'm there. Let's do it. And then it's Miranda's birthday.
Oh yeah.
And it's her favorite restaurant.
Bridges.
And that scene is so funny where they're picking the dresses. And she's like, what about this frock? And
Oh my god, dude. Well,
like,
every
"It's
time.
old.
Yeah.
I wore that to my aunt's funeral in 1976. And he's like, well, classics never died.
never
dear."
died, dear.
Yes, never died. But like every time Miranda like has any thought or any feeling or expresses
Stu.
any like sexuality for Stu, he immediately goes like, she asked him, she's like, Stu wants to take me out for drinks. What do you think? Like, what did you think about dating after Milton died? And he's like, never. Never, dear. Never went to
Winston.
bed. Winston never went to Winston.
Holding this cold meat reminds me of Winston. How did he die? Was the drink that killed him.
He was very fond.
Oh,
He was fond of the drink.
he was an alcoholic?
Yeah, well, he says yes, but he's like, but that's not what got him, dear. He was hit with the Guinness truck.
So it's quite literally the drink that killed him.
She's like, oh my God.
But then she's asking him, she's like, would you date again? He's like, no, never, dear.
Never.
Absolutely.
Once
Once the
father-
father of your children's out of the picture, there's nothing but total and complete celibacy. And Sally Fields is like, celibacy?
No.
Yes, celibacy.
And
Never again.
Half this time I keep thinking about that Family Guy episode where Stewie's like, good luck, bandit. Good luck hitting that hot Sally Fields.
No, and he's like saying it through his teeth. He's like that hot Sally Field.
And bandit Lisa was like, hey, I don't like it any more than you do, kid. Oh, Family Guy. You've been around 26 years now. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's true.
Yeah. So,
Well, and then they go to the country club with Stu.
yes. And that's where you get the great, so run by fruity.
Yeah, first you get him just trying to backhand
Dude.
Stu any chance he gets. Like he
When
does
he
he does like a double front flip off the high dive.
Yeah.
And the kids are clapping for him and he's like, oh, by the looks of you, that water has to be so cold.
Like, he looks down and he's like, this must be freezing.
We didn't
here.
talk about earlier in the movie when he rips the thing off his Mercedes and he comes in and he says,
the decal.
"Oh yes,
Yeah.
somebody drives a big car like that, compensating for their sexual prowess or something like that." And, he said, and Stu's like, "What the hell is going on?"
And he's trying to be like so nice. He's like, "Oh, my parents are from England." Like, and she's like,
I have a house there. I was born there."
Here and there, really.
Your accent sounds
from?
muddled.
Yes. Yeah.
All over, really.
Yes. Ask him to say schedule.
Casual.
You figure that out quick.
But they go to the kids are like playing in the pool, and he's pissed because he's like, "Enjoy my family. You bastard." And so he's sitting at the bar just drinking. And Stu walks over to get iced teas for the family, and they're like, "Look at you, Miranda Hillard. Didn't want kids, never gonna have kids." He's like, "Yeah, well, I'm about to turn 40," which no way. Pierce Brosnan is definitely over 40 at this point, but
Is he?
whatever.
I don't know.
Oof, man, dude, I wish I looked that good at 40. I'm
But
like
he's
this bad
like,
at 38.
he's like, no, but I'm crazy about him. I don't want to spend, the rest of my life by myself. And so he's like, what about their real father? And he's like, I don't know what to tell you, Roy. Guy's a loser.
A total loser.
He picks up a lime and just rockets this thing at Pierce Brosnan's head. And he turns around. He's like, I saw it.
oh, the little terrorist. It was a run by fruiting.
He's a disgruntled member of the kitchen staff. Did you forget to tip them?
Did you not tip them?
Don't worry, I'll get him, sir.
But the best is he turns around and he's like, ow.
Yeah.
Because he just got lit up with a lime.
And then his friend is like looking at him because he's laughing and stuff still, like, and it kind of sounds like a man. And then he's like, "What are you looking at?"
Well, the best is he's like, waste of good fruit.
Dude, how about when he hits on the freaking girl?
Yeah, but it's on me.
Yeah,
He
she's like,
winks at her,
"No, thank you.
No.
and then he realizes like, oh shit, I'm just
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, you get a little tipsy.
I missed Doubtfire."
But it's a great precursor to understand that when he drinks, he starts losing control.
Yeah.
And he starts losing his ability to keep the character in total because it's important for the final
because
scene.
if he doesn't maintain control, he gets in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's great for the final scene because you find so Lundy is like Bridges 7 o'clock
And
Friday
then
night.
there's where you find out that she picks Bridges for her birthday dinner.
It's her favorite
And the
place.
kids are like, you have to come. And like, it's so funny because it's Nat and Lydia. And Nat's like, you really have to come, Ms. Doubtfire. And Lydia's like, what? Okay.
Yeah. No, but so it's such a great way that they bring that all up, and that he's just like freaking out. But I love the way he freaks out. He's like, Bridges, 7.
Drops the.
Woo!
I can't. It's bingo night there. It's my turn to pick the balls out of the roller, dude. I can't.
I mean, he could have come up with a better excuse than freaking bingo night.
Right, and I also honestly thought that like when he gets there, he could just been like, "I'm not feeling well. I need to go home and take my medicine or something like that," and then
can't
just
take it orally,
change and be done. Yeah. Oh, I can't. What's that thing from Futurama? I can't swallow that. Good news. It's a suppository.
Well, we have water at the table. I can't take it all away, dear. And she's like, Sally Field's face in this movie are really good because she does the whole like when her teeth fall into the wine and she's like,
oh, apparently that was real. Did you read that? No one on the cast or crew knew he was going to do that bit, and that he loosened the teeth and then dropped them in the wine glass. And so at first, everyone's reaction was like,
yeah,
like Sally Fields especially, like being like, and Pierce Brosnan like, oh, like you really see him
come at it like a pink folk.
Ooh, shake it like a dog.
Shake him up like a dog.
That was the scene that Chris Columbus crawled out of the room because he was crying laughing.
And like it gets all over Pierce Brosnan's face, and he's like,
oh, sorry, dear.
How do you have to set that up as an actor to be like, okay, you're working with Robin Williams. Here's the scene. No matter what he does after this normal takes that we're going to do, that everyone knows the line, hold your shit together.
Well, that's why part of the reason why they had to keep the multiple cameras, and why you don't see the kids so much, because the kids were dying laughing.
Oh, Liddy dies laughing in the scene where he's shaking the teeth.
Yeah,
well, the kids all do, and they can cut to them because it is funny,
it's
even though
I mean, old lady.
Well, that's what it's got to be like working with like Will Ferrell.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Because like even in like the outtakes in like Step Brothers and stuff,
John C. Reilly,
when they're doing the Galco line where he's like Galco, and they just start losing it.
We're just like, quick, wait.
Dude, we were talking about. Have you seen the Eastbound and Down outtakes? Not the one that we send all the time. But with the guy that's like, he's like, hey, do your fart noise.
Oh, he's like, how long you been with her, dude?
Dude, I don't understand why, but it is so. Yeah, he's like, "How long you been with her?"
How long you been with her?
Even without the fart noise, just the way he delivers that.
How long you been with her
is so funny. But that guy in Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh,
dude, he's so great.
He's
amazing. He's
in that movie.
My wife left me. My dad died. But I got the van.
Red's like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Awesome.
Dude, he's amazing in that movie.
And it was fine, right? Yeah, crazy, stupid fine.
You know what? You know what's even funnier, dude? That guy is, I think Hernandez is his last name. I'm pretty sure. I'll look him up. But he was in the live action make of Dora the Explorer. And you know how in the old kid show, I don't know, you were probably too old, but Nick Jr., Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, and she like, out of here.
Yeah. Get the hell out of here. But Dora would go like, she'd look at the camera and be like, can you say like map or something like that? And in the live action, they have the kid do that. And they're at like the dinner table and like all like the two adults like look around like, and he goes, she'll grow out of it. It'll be fine. It's all right. She'll grow out of it. Don't worry. Who the hell
you get some sauce, get all the sauces and fix it.
Get some fixins.
I'm never picking up your fixins again.
Yeah.
He's so funny.
That guy's lisp in that movie. Oh my!
If you watch the whole show, that character is freaking hilarious.
I need to find that guy. But sorry, Mara Wilson, little Matilda.
Yeah,
her little lisp.
She's so cute.
You were his goddamn kids too.
We're his goddamn kids too. Yes,
that's great. Daniel,
any more choice phrases
you want to teach our 5-year-old?
Kids say the darndest things.
Piss off, Lou. Which we didn't even mention in the very beginning. The reason he loses that job is because he doesn't think cartoon birds should smoke. Which I was like, man, I mean, that's Looney Tunes, dude. Like,
you can't put words in Pudgy's mouth if his mouth isn't moving. How about an inner monologue?
Or like the voice of God. No, Pudgy, don't smoke.
No, baby. No.
Don't smoke.
So the whole time he's trying to balance having dinner with them.
Yeah. So
having dinner with Mr.
Oh, they get to the restaurant and Mr. Lundy is in front of them checking in. And they're like, he's like, oh, Lundy, I'm meeting someone. Has he arrived? No, he hasn't. Well, we can seat you. And he's like, table 15 in the non-smoking section. And then so they go up to do it. And he's like, non-smoking. His Doubtfire comes out of the back and says, smoking. And the funny part is I was playing video games with Tyler the other day, and I don't know what possessed me to do it, but there was a car that's on fire in the game, so it's smoking. And I think I went to like vault over it, and I got caught in the smoke, and I was like, smoking! And he was like, what? And I was like, I don't. But I did.
Did you watch these you watched these like 3 or 4 times. How many times did you put Doubtfire on, do you
I think I watched it 4 times.
Man, dude, yeah. So like
This is Doubtfire. You don't smoke.
But this was before we had even decided to do
this
this
was like
movie.
this was like 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This was a while back. All right.
And I just smoking.
And when you play zombies and it's just the two of us, like there'll be these lulls where you're focused on what you're doing, you're not talking to each other, and then Trey just out of a sudden, like out of nowhere, is like smoking. I'm like, smoking? He's like, I don't.
No, I don't.
But I did. I'm like, he's doing the Miss Doubtfire? What? Why?
Mrs. Doubtfire, you don't smoke. No, I don't.
Just caught me
I did.
so off guard, cracked me up.
And I
Super
find
funny.
that the best way to keep me from lighting up is to be around those who do smoke. I need to ingest just a little nicotine, and it steals my wool. Which
Gosh, dude.
doesn't exist anymore. You can't do smoking, non-smoking.
No, you can't.
Because we were like, oh, secondhand smoke is bad.
Well, it's funny. Somebody tweeted that on Instagram, right, or X, sorry, in Instagram, and it came up and it was like, I can't tell you this, but in the 80s and 90s, everything smelled like nicotine. And I was like, oh my God, that's right. I remember going to Pizza Hut, and you walk in, you're like, oh, pizza, fresh pepperoni and cheese, and nicotine. And
smoke.
I have this association with like nicotine and smoke.
It just comes back to Family Guy for me.
and
Like the
Family,
subliminal messaging, like in the middle of the cartoon, it's just the guy going, smoke. And then at
Reminds
the
me
end, he's
of-
like, are you smoking yet?
It reminds me of Big Bang Theory. So sad. Where he's like, what's the secret, Sheldon? And he's like, Mom smokes in the car, but we can't. God's okay with it, but we can't tell Dad. Not that secret. The other secret. I'm Batman.
Mom smokes in the car.
God's okay with it,
but
we
we
can't
can't tell Dad. That's not getting out of the car. That's the worst place to smoke,
bad.
dude.
So he keeps going back and forth between the two tables, like running into
Dude,
the
and
bathroom, changing.
Imagine.
And the dude keeps ordering him double scotch on the
Dude,
rock.
and he's got Chardonnay on the other table.
It's my kind of party.
Getting hammered.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, when he sits down, there's already one waiting for him, and then he's ordering, and he's like,
Bring him 2 more.
make
so he
it
can catch
2
up.
more so he can catch up.
That's
so by
right.
the time that like everything falls apart, he must have had like 8 to 10 Scott doubles, and
That's like at least half a bottle of
2
whiskey, dude.
glasses of Chardonnay.
and yeah, like 2 glasses of Chardonnay, and it's only been like
1
half an hour.
Yeah, 45 minutes, if that.
Like that alcohol is hitting him like a freight train.
Well-
and I gotta hand it to Rob Williams. He plays an amazing drunk.
Yes.
The way his stumbling,
Yes.
and his talking is like. And Wolfgang Puck is in the movie.
Oh, he is.
really?
He's one of the chefs. in the
He
background?
literally puts the plate
Oh,
down
he's like,
and
"Table
goes
35."
table 39 and like turns around. They cut a scene out where when he comes and he goes to put the cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
Wolfgang turns back and he's like, "Who are you?" And he was like, he does like kind of a French
Accent?
New Orleans kind of accent, and he's like, he names some like super famous restaurant, and he's like, "Oh, from this place," and he's like, "Yeah, and I'm here to check out your jambalaya, blah blah blah," and it like there's a lot of stuff that I'm just glad they cut. Like,
Yeah. Is that what ruined that pace?
it's cool to see like because they're fully shot and they're fully like
They're
done.
baked. They're baked. They're
Exactly.
done. Yeah.
But they would have really ruined it because a lot of them really ruin your perception of Daniel Hillard, like because he's much more of a dick. Like,
He's much more Hollywood.
well, that just the anger is and even though he keeps screwing it up, he keeps getting pissed at everybody else for it. Like, there's a scene where when Liddy's training for practicing for the spelling bee.
Yeah.
And she's in the spelling bee, and he shows up late, and he, instead of just standing in the back, he tries to go down and sit with the kids and Miranda, and she's like, and he goes, where's my seat? And she's like, we tried to hold you a seat, but you were late, and somebody sat in the seat. And he's like, you just don't want me to sit with the kid. And like, this is during the spelling bee, like they're up there and he's like making a scene, and it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I mean, there's parts of that where you're like, it's good to see reasons why Miranda and then would separate. But then also you have to walk that fine line of like, well, you still want this to be a very likable character.
Yeah.
So that you're rooting for him in some way. Which
So that he doesn't seem like as big of a psycho.
yes, because his whole
Because he's a complete psycho.
this whole movie is deceit. Like it's just it's deceiving the kids, it's deceiving Miranda, it's deceiving like even Mr. Lundy for a little bit there. Like
The greatest line that Miranda, that Sally Fields delivers the whole movie. So he's doing the back and forth. He gets super wasted. He puts the cayenne pepper on Stu's
Yeah.
food, and after
He's
Stu
allergic to
says
pepper.
like. He orders the freaking Cajun pot. Like
And says
this is exactly
non-spicy.
what would happen at the restaurant that I work at. Where
Yes.
he's like, I'm allergic to seafood.
What?
The fuck are you doing here then?
I'll have the salmon.
Yeah, I
You have
can't
any
have
non-salmon
shellfish.
salmon?
Do you have shrimp?
Yes.
What?
Shrimp doesn't have a shell.
What? Okay, so orders the Cajun pasta, whatever the jambalaya, but no pepper
Non-spicy.
because he's allergic to pepper.
Right.
Robin Williams,
Bitch.
being hammered drunk, puts the pepper on the crab like
Like a
ton of it,
ton of it.
a
Yeah,
ton of
dude.
it.
Hot jambalaya.
Yeah. And then goes back out, and he's like all laughing, and he sits down with Lundy dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes.
And that's when you get Lundy saying like, Daniel, is that you?
Yeah, sorry. After all those scotches, I had to piss like a racehorse.
Why the hell are you dressed like a woman?
Well, say hello to the host of your new show.
What? You Virginia Doubtfire, dear.
I'm a hip hop granny
Yes.
who can hip hop, bebop, dance till you drop, and yo make a wicked cup of cocoa.
You could tell that me and my brother have done this before.
Well, the best is
Oh,
when
yeah.
he goes back to like their table and he goes to sit down after all the scotch and falls out of the table.
Oh,
the
it's
guy,
so
out of the
perfect.
chair.
the guy like pulls his chair out, and then and then the guy even says like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my fault." Like, what did you do to this poor old lady?
But you hear Robin Williams kind of break through.
Because I think like, when he hits the ground, he's like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
that hurt."
Yeah, now he's like wasted.
Well, and so
Yes.
And
as
Pierce
he's,
Brosnan is eating
as
the
they're talking, he
jambalaya.
eats and he starts choking.
yeah, and he's like, and then
he
you could
goes
see
silent.
like,
Yeah.
and he inhales this big piece of shrimp, and Sally Fields starts yelling, "Mrs. Doubtfire," because he's sitting with Lundy now, and he, "Help is on the way, dear."
And he's jumping over the
like vaults over the little thing in the restaurant. He's supposed to be like a 70 or 80-year-old woman
help is on the way, dude.
because he's trained in CPR and the Heimlich maneuver.
Never be too cautious with little ones present.
little ones.
Don't put anything in their mouth. You gotta be ready to pop it out.
Yeah, so he starts giving him the Heimlich, and in the process of the Heimlich, the mask comes off, peels
He
down.
keeps saying, "Work with me."
Yeah,
Work
he
with me.
totally turns back into Daniel. Work,
Come on. And they
pops the
fall
shrimp
over,
out.
and it pops the shrimp out, and then he comes up and he's like, "You all right? We almost lost you,
And then
That's
Maddie,
on the face.
Maddie is like,
Daddy."
"Daddy,
Yes,
The whole time.
hi, baby."
The whole time.
That's the line.
that's
Don't
it.
touch
She's
me.
like,
Don't
it is.
touch
the
me.
whole time. Like,
Yes, the little
she
have to
goes
leave.
through all
we
of
have-
the different emotions.
We have to leave. We have to leave now. We have
We're
to
going.
go. We have to leave now.
We're going.
We're going.
We have to leave.
whole time.
And
Daniel-
Stu's just like, "Oh, I almost died."
And he says something to Robin. I forget what he says, but they shake
he
hands.
turns.
They're
He
like,
turns to Robin, and he's like, and Robin says, "Sorry about the pepper."
Sorry about the pepper. And he's
And
like,
then he goes,
Yeah.
for the." And he's like, and they shake hands and they walk away.
which like Stu's incredibly cool with this.
Yeah.
Like anybody else, you're getting punched in the mouth.
"Yeah, dude."
He's
Especially with all the
literally like,
comments.
I just almost died.
Yeah, so you did just
I
save my life.
just wanna get the hell
so
outta here.
I'm gonna give you a pass because your family's bad shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with it.
Well, not only that, but he's such a wonderful guy the entire time.
Yeah.
Like
He really
to
is a
Miranda and
very
to the kids.
Decent human being, honestly. Which I wonder if Mrs. Doubtfire too would have been that they got together eventually, because I don't. It like you said, it doesn't get the Disney happy ending.
Well, it gets a happy ending, just not like the storybook one.
it's not the storybook where
Like
they
he
get back
gets
together.
a new show
Correct.
as Miss Doubtfire.
Yes.
And then basically Miranda's like, all right, you can like take care of the kids. Whatever.
Well, yeah, because the courts say
Yeah,
you're an insane person.
Yeah.
You can't see the kids without supervised visitation with a court liaison. You need mental help. literally. And
Yeah,
you need.
you're gonna be
he's like,
evaluated.
I'm gonna say you would need psychotherapy, and he tries to plead his case, but
Doesn't work.
to no avail.
Yeah,
And-
because the judge think he's rehearsed a really good speech.
Yeah, he's like
he's an actor.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, all I hear, while I think your apology is genuine, I can't help but think it's just a well prepared speech from a very talented actor.
Right. Yes.
and
yes,
you're
yes.
a psychopath who's been
That's where-
dressing
but
like an
that's-
old woman.
But that's where Miranda starts to like, oh my god, he did all of this just to like hang out with
she
kids.
knew.
Like
Yeah.
fuck.
She knew the whole time. She knew that
He was.
his obsession with his children is like another level. Like, and it's just because of his love for. She knew that.
Yeah.
And then-
She's just mad at him for
Being a psycho.
so long making her the bad guy
Yeah,
with
have
her
to
children.
be the back, yeah, rather than equal partnership.
And instead of her enjoying her life and being happy at home, it was always a fight.
Yep.
Because Daniel was always doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing. And when he became Mrs. Doubtfire and he actually became a parent and was taking care of the children and everything, then she saw like, well, he's changed and he can do this. And like, look what he did with these kids.
And the best is when you hear on the TV, they're all talking about how they miss Miss Doubtfire, and you just hear, "Hello, my dears."
And Miranda's like, but she's not real.
they're upset. They're like, "Oh, I missed it. The house is so warm and cozy." She's like,
Hello.
"She's not real." Like,
"Hello, my dears," and they're like, "No fucking way."
they bro, like we all know.
And
Stop!
so they-
Don't show up on our
And so
front
they
porch
go
like
over,
that.
and it's like you're seeing the show, and the best part of that show is he's got a Muppet,
Yeah, he's got the monkey.
Colfax.
Kovacs.
And he's like, well, that's all the time we have for today. Let me get a kiss. He's like, I give you one kiss, and then
And
here's monkey. And he's like, oh, you wicked monkey.
Yeah,
I'm
and then
studying of
she-
England. She's like, "Do you know what language they speak in England? Pakistani." And
In
he's like,
some stores,
in a lot of the shops they do, dear.
they do.
and then the boring guy's the mailman.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh God, is that right? I didn't
Yeah.
see. Oh, they recasted him as. I didn't notice
mailman.
As
that.
the mailman.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then he gives this speech about like how
Well, she goes then to the set
yeah.
and talks to him about like the kids need you. Like it's not like they need you in their lives. You need to be there.
Yeah.
And they work out a deal
he's the new babysitter.
where he's going to take them every day after school for a few hours so that mom can work and he'll help. He'll be Mrs. Doubtfire, but he'll just be himself. And I thought it was a beautiful ending.
Well done.
A
Yes.
very beautiful way to do it with him doing the voiceover
As
where
Miss
he
Doubtfire.
is reading the letter from the girl who's saying, "My parents are getting divorced. I don't know what's going to happen. Will they ever get back together?" And then he goes through the whole like, some families look different. Sometimes mommies and daddies are better people when they're not together, and they can love you better. They can be better. They're happier. Sometimes you live with aunts and uncles or grandparents. Sometimes you live with foster parent, and it's just a beautiful, touching sentiment, and it's real, it's deep, and as they're she even invites him to wait inside, and he says no, I'll wait out here, because it's like we're better apart. We can see each other and we can be cool, but we're better apart because we just bring out the worst in each other of all the years of anger and fighting, and maybe. Down the line, they could be friendlier and hang out together with all the kids and everything. But for now, it's better if we just stay our separate areas. Yeah. So then the kids are happy. They get to go with dad. And
he doesn't have to dress up like Miss Doubtfire
with
dad anymore.
Except
just at work.
He
it's just a
effed
job.
himself.
He doesn't go to old lady bars after work.
Yeah, now he just has to dress up like an old lady every day on TV.
Every single day.
Every day.
But exhausting. He's got calls from New York, Chicago, Los Angeles about sin.
Oh, bully.
I already took the liberty of ordering you another scotch. Bully!
Well, dude, the way he says that, I was like, a couple of things I pointed out about the exec, I was like, dude, he's way too cool with it. Out the gate, he's like, yeah, all right, dressed as a woman, fine, go for it. Like an old lady, too.
He's hammered.
All right, and the second part is, when he comes back, one of the times that he was switching in and out of the costume, Daniel comes back and he's still wearing lipstick. He's like, why are you wearing lipstick? And he's like, well, on the way to the bathroom, it rubbed off.
Ran into an ex-girlfriend.
Can't keep her hands off me. And the exec is like, hey,
I got the limo outside.
I've got the stretch limo outside. Does she have a lady friend? A sister? Someone for me? And I was just like, ew, dude.
He Weinsteined it.
Yes, yeah. Mr. Lundy was. It was not great. The other part too that I we had kind of skipped over was, and I written down because I was like, Jesus, when he loses the teeth. And he says, "Carpe dentum, seize the teeth."
Yeah.
Seize the teeth.
He's so funny, man.
No, dude, I
I just had to reattach them to the teeth.
So when the court liaison first comes over, and he's like,
Mrs. Selner.
Mrs. Selner, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a sister, half sister, really." And then like he goes up, she goes the whole charade. He's playing back and forth as Mrs. Doubtfire and as Daniel, and he's like, "Daniel, come here, come in, sis," and like doing the voice. And I was like, "Oh, it's so brilliant!" It's where you get the cake in the face. But Mrs. Selner, it's when it's one of the in betweens. The reason he doesn't have his mask is because it's on a face,
a plaster mold of his face.
plaster mold of his face in the window, and he knocks it out. And the reason he knocks it out is because across the alley from him, while he's putting on the women fat suit thing, is two chubby little Asian kids
Laughing at him.
And then they notice that he has like boobs.
Oh, sick.
And they
And
go
they're like,
"Oh, shit.
Mom.
And then this latex face, and I was like, and they're laughing, and I was like, dude, no. This would have been like, I'm calling the police now.
Yeah.
There's a guy across the alley dressing, like, putting on someone's skin, and then
Although-
his face fell on the floor. What?
totally within his right.
Totally legal.
You know what? Nothing wrong.
I wanted to be drunk in a bar.
They threw me into public.
No. They broke their stool over my thigh.
That's right.
I wanted to be drunk
Arrest
in a bar. Arrest them.
Arrest them.
Anyways, no, I just thought that scene with the two Asian kids across the alley was way too sick. Yeah,
Nails his nuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
God.
telling you, go watch
He
this movie.
Destroys his nuts on the banister.
Oh yeah, he doesn't pay attention to where it was. Yes,
If you guys haven't seen this movie in a while, go.
it's so good.
It's on Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, you should buy it if you don't have it.
It was not a Disney
worth
movie
it.
though. It's a
on
20th
Hulu.
Century Fox, wasn't it?
But it's on Hulu, so
Yeah, but doesn't Disney own 20th Century
They
Fox
do own
now?
Fox, yeah, now. So
there you go.
Which
Deadpool.
the Simpsons predicted like 5 years before it actually happened or something like that. That's crazy.
But thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate you. Come back every week. Join us. Comment, like, subscribe. All the things. Hit the little notification bell. All the things that the people tell you to do. Check us out on the Tiki Talkies. It was only banned for like 17 minutes.
Dude, my freaking
we'll see what
Marvel
happens in the
Snap
future.
game got banned longer than TikTok.
That's funny. But check us out, nostalgialandshop.com. Check out the Sunny D. These wonderful vodka seltzers. But yeah, Nostalgialand on Etsy.
Nostalgialand Shop on Etsy.
Okay.
NostalgialandPodcast.com.
You can remember the rap from the Raptors.
You know how many times I've done that Raptors rap?
Way more than I've done this outro.
Well, the problem is that
Show.
it's like Nostalgialand podcast, and then it's like Nostalgialand this or that. And oh, jeez, I can't keep up with it.
I don't blame you. I can't keep up with it.
I just
either.
should write it down. Is what I should do.
Should have like a big sign.
Yeah,
out.
like on the floor here that only I can see.
It helps if you write it down.
Yeah, seriously.
But
But we thank you
gets
guys.
the reference.
We
You
love
don't
you
need
guys. Comment. Let us know if there's something you'd like to see, like to hear us ramble about.
Yeah.
To have us research and watch 50 million times. Series we're down for as well. Those will just take time because I like to put in a lot of effort,
extra work.
And those I like to watch every episode if we're gonna do a series. So some of them can take some real dedication. But we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We're trying to build community around this show. So please, please, please join us every week. Tell your friends, your family, your friends' families, whoever.
Tell your enemies.
Yeah, tell
people you don't like.
If you don't like it, tell them, and they can join us.
Absolutely.
But until next time,
I'm Matt.
I'm Trey.
and I'm Tyler. Cowbunga.